What's going on, everybody? Nico here with the Wooden Spoon, and today we've got a very, very special midweek episode of the Sit Down. I'm joined by author Antonio Acierno. How's it going, Antonio?
Good, Nico. I appreciate you having me, buddy. Thanks for the support.
Thanks for coming on. So I guess we'll just get right into it. You wrote an Italian Christmas book special for children during this time. So
Correct. Yep.
give us a little background first on you. What do you do? Are you like a full-time author, or just give us a little background on you?
Yeah. So I've always been passionate about writing. I've written my whole life, short stories, music, just anything I could really, I guess, get creative, like an outlet. We all have an outlet outside of work. Something that clears our head, and writing has always been that for me. When I had my son 3 years ago, that's what inspired me to write this book.
Mhm.
You might hear him in the background. Yeah, upstairs. But we wrote it about 3 years ago, and I've never actually like released a piece of literary work ever.
Mhm.
I'm a med device rep, actually.
So
I'm in the operating room every day, but this was an opportunity for me to take it, to market and actually follow through with a piece of work. And I'm so happy with it, how it came out, man. I'm so happy.
that's
So
awesome. Well, congrats first off everything. I
thank
can't
you.
wait to read it. I'm very
Thank you.
excited. But
Thank you.
so 3 years ago, how long did it take you to actually write the book and write the story, like
So,
pen to paper?
so sorry, go ahead.
So like pen to paper, like how long did it take to like actually write this story?
So I wrote the story, the original copy, in like 2 days.
Mhm.
But after about a month of adding, taking away, stuff like that, I'd say probably about a month it was finished. But it took over a year to find an illustrator. I mean, it's so hard to find what we were looking for. We were looking for like a Norman Rockwell type of vibe. I don't know if you've seen his work,
Not
but
familiar, but I'm
it's
sure.
very like timeless, very classical type of illustrations. And I actually ended up working with a company through Vietnam, and it was 12 hours between answers. I had to send them a link to show them what a stocking was. So it just wasn't like, it would have taken a decade to
Yeah.
finish. So I just started looking for illustrators on Instagram, and I found this stay-at-home mom of two in Nebraska. She's never been paid for her work, and she knocked it out of the park, man. We hit it off. Now we're
So
friends.
cool. That's so cool. I mean, that's like, because I hear it all the time from like my parents or some older people in the community versus younger people, like, oh, social media is the worst, or the people say social media is the best, but there's pros and cons. But like something like that could never have happened 10 years ago. And it's so great that
Exactly.
like a perfect fit like that found just off Instagram. It just blows my mind.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Super cool, man. She's our illustrator. She sent us actually a Christmas card the other day. She's expecting her third baby this year. So it's just like we've become more than just like a business partnership,
Mhm.
and we're calling each other like, oh, we sold more books. And, the number's up to 200 and something now. So it's been an awesome experience, man. I'm super happy with it.
Yeah. So you self-published the book, which I have to give you a ton of credit for. I'm sure it takes a lot more, because I've dealt with people who've published books before and I've heard horror stories. But
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit behind like the I guess the going forward with self-publishing rather than trying to find a publisher.
Yeah, so I actually talked to a few publishing companies first, and it came down to like they picked the illustrator, which surprised me. So
Mm.
I would pitch them the story, they would read it, and then they have a list of illustrators that they could pick, amongst the ones that they hire, I guess, or contract. And like I said, my wife and I, we wanted a very specific look. And it was kind of one of those things where at the end of the day, we were only going to get maybe $1 a book or maybe $2 a book after they pay their illustrator, they take ownership, they do marketing. And, like you said, Instagram today, it was, it's like, why don't we just try it? Why don't we get it out there? And if somebody picks us up down the road, then that's a discussion we'll have then. But so far, it's been incredible, because if we sell what we have now, we can do twice the amount of orders next year rather than maybe a fraction of that if we were with a publishing company.
Of
So,
course, of course. I don't even know if we covered it. Give us the name of the book and let's see the cover and everything.
yeah, man, yeah. So it is StELFano, the Italian Christmas elf.
Oh my God. I think
Um,
we were talking before we started recording. I think that's one of the most beautiful like covers that I've ever seen. It's
Thank you.
gorgeous.
Thanks. I tell the few people who haven't gotten it yet, but it's in the mail. I tell them that it actually could just sit on your coffee table. I mean, our illustrator did such an incredible job. It's more like a piece of art, you know. So even if your kid just looks at the spaghetti, doesn't really understand the story yet, it could just sit on your counter during Christmas. And I'm hoping that the Italian community can be proud of it. That was the end goal, because
I'm very
like
sure.
you and I talked, Dominic the Donkey and maybe one other one. And I
Mhm.
tried to bring a modern spin to our culture and try to give us something that we would be,
Yeah, I
proud of.
guess
So,
the only other there's Dominic the Donkey and then La Befana, and that's the only two that come to
yeah,
mind. But
yeah.
do we see any like I guess before we get into like me asking about like maybe cameos of anything, are there any like give us like a trailer version or kind of like a little bit of a backstory on StELFano?
Sure, I can. I'll tell you what. I'll read the back of the book for you.
Perfect.
Okay, so I put a very small excerpt in the back of the book that anytime I read the story to a family or friend, they laughed or they smiled during this
Mhm.
part. So I was like, I'll put that on the back of the book. It kind of gives you a little, I guess, like you said, a summary or an intro of what you're going to get. But these elves they're about to decorate this large, beautiful wooden cabin in the middle of the North Pole, and they're like, what are we going to eat? We need to eat dinner before we, start streaming the lights, the Christmas tree, and get into the spirit. And then an elf comes out of nowhere in the back and he says, I'll make the dinner. And elf yelled in the back. He pulled a glass of oregano out of his sack. The name is StELFano. I'll be done in a flash. His gold chain twinkled. He had a mustache. Bigger than most, this elf loved to snack. He wiggled and shook like a crooked spice rack. And
That's
that's it.
that's amazing.
Thanks.
That's awesome. I'm so
Thanks.
excited to read it.
Thanks,
Yes,
man.
so where did the inspiration really come from?
So when we had our son, it was actually, so my son was born in March. So the idea came to me in December. I was talking to a work colleague and we were talking about it. And I said, I just made the joke. I was like, I got to go to Elf Club tonight. And she was like, what's Elf Club? And I was like, well, they teach you the proper way to tinsel a tree. We sing Christmas carols. And she was like, is Stefano going to come with you when, he's born? And I said, I put like an asterisk, when someone misspells a word, you put an asterisk, and I put StELFano. And then that's when the idea
Wow.
clicked. And I'm like, StELFano, the Italian Christmas elf. And I started writing it that day. I
Mhm.
just, that's kind of where I guess the spark came for the whole
So
story.
cool. So cool. So what is you said your son's around 3 years old now?
Yeah, he's 2.5 now. He'll be 3 in March, but
Does he
he's a
have any opinion? Does he have any opinions on the book?
Oh my! So when he opened it, the first thing he noticed was Oakley, our dog. So we have an English bulldog,
Mhm.
and when he looked, he was like, "That's Oakley," And then the more we read, he noticed that he was in the book, and just little stuff like we have little mice throughout the book that one has like a chef hat on, one is like decorating a tree, and he notices the details, that we were incorporated on purpose, like
That's
the
so
little
cool.
stuff. But the more you read the book, our illustrator puts so many details in that you're going to find something new every time that you read the book. So
Okay, that's really important, I think, for any like work of art or just every time you go through it, like you pick up something new. I think that's important.
thanks, man. Yeah.
But I get a sense, 'cause I mean I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. I get like a really like a high sense of entrepreneurship in you. Does
Thanks.
like where does that come from? Is that like
My dad, he speaks fluent Italian. His parents came off the boat, and his dad, my grandfather, he started a concrete company.
mhm,
And that was kind of like the entrepreneurship there. And then my dad took that over. So my dad owns his own company.
mhm,
He does concrete work and a lot of contracting for big companies. And I did that a lot growing up. I did concrete work my whole
gotcha.
life, even though what I do now is completely different. I think that was his way of getting me in, I guess, taking school more serious, wheeling, 80, 90 yards of concrete in a day and, pulling a come along and a trial. And it kind of makes you appreciate school a little bit
Yeah.
more. But I would say the entrepreneurship stems from my dad and from my grandfather for sure,
So
just
cool.
wanting to be your own boss type deal. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because I totally got that sense of that. Just the way you were explaining like the process of going through, because this is it's a long process. It sounds like writing
Uh,
a book.
Yeah, it is because, we go through multiple sketches for each page.
Mhm.
So by the time we actually completed the book, it was a year and, maybe it had to have been 200 phone calls or something between, and I'll send you an email maybe of some of the sketches of, the first stage of the book to where you end up but you enjoy it, it's the process that you enjoy. So I'm just so happy with how it turned out. So,
Sure, for sure. Now,
yeah.
what would your advice be on, say someone's listening right now and they have a book idea maybe in their head, they just never put pen to paper. What's the word of advice for that person?
If you believe in it, do it. Just do it. Cause I have probably 10 or 15 stories that I've written that I felt like I wanted to publish. But this one, I just felt so strong about it that I was willing to financially back it. And I think it's when your passion surpasses the financial worry, that's when you should do it. I think.
Great advice. I love it.
Thanks, man.
I love it for
Thanks.
sure. So now we have StELFano. Is there a possibility of a sequel or maybe a spin-off in the distant future?
You're probably the 15th or 16th person that's asked me that in the past 2 days. And I tell them, right now I just want to get this one out there. I want to get this, but there are ideas for sure. But I thought it would be cool somehow to have him travel around the country with Santa and maybe cook a different meal for each portion of the country. Like maybe he cooks a barbecue type of different dish with a chef that's in Texas, and then he cooks on like a Louisiana Bayou shrimp Creole with somebody down there, make it like a cookbook, but,
Oh, so
but let's get StELFano out there. Let's get it to the people.
I do remember you saying you're known as biscotti recipes in the book too at the end.
Yeah. So I, unfortunately, growing up, I didn't have any grandparents. They all passed when I was very young, or, the only memory I really have of my Nonna is in the nursing home. And she had Alzheimer's. So she went from being able to speak English and Italian to just Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So she forgot the English. But I remember my dad talking to her in the nursing home when I was about 7, 8 years old. And I asked him for her recipe because I thought it would be super cool to have her recipe live on through the book. And I'll give you a quick glimpse. It's in the very back of the book, but our illustrator, again, did a phenomenal job at doing like almost like a little bit of like a scenic type of look to the
So cool. That's
to the
awesome.
recipe. And it has biscottis here, and has a candlelight, and just something that we're super proud of as a family, and our friends have supported it a lot too. So
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
So where could everybody find the book?
So right now, with COVID, we weren't sure when we were going to get it. We thought we were going to get it after December and have to release next year. So when we got the call, we were like, what's the fastest way that we can get it on and get it available? And that was Etsy. With their shipping cost, it was half the cost of what we would do if we did it individually and by ourselves. So if you go on Etsy and you search StELFano, the Italian Christmas elf, it'll pop right up, and that's the easiest, fastest way to do it. So
wherever you're
next year, it'll be on. Go ahead, sorry.
No, you go. You finish.
Next year, it'll be on Amazon. So hopefully we try to ship international next year and get it to some people in Italy and Canada and stuff. So
it blows my mind like where my followers are too, because we've got I was on live the other day, Australia, Italy, Malta, Canada, like all over the place. There's a ton of Italians in Australia. I'm telling you.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool. So New Zealand and Australia is on my wife and I's bucket list of going. We like that part of the world. It's just so beautiful. We would love to get there. It'd be so cool.
For sure. Yeah. Whoever's listening right now, the link for the book will definitely be in the description of wherever you're listening to this. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what's it looking like? What are your Christmas plans this year with
man, so we have a very supportive, so we moved away from home. We're from Pittsburgh originally. I'm actually wearing a hat from Southside in Pittsburgh.
We love Pittsburgh too. We are huge Pittsburgh people over here. We were there for the festival last year. Had a blast. There were some really cool people. Met some nut jobs for sure too. But
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a very like blue collar town, very hardworking town, and when you're there, you can almost feel that vibe. It's a town that's built on hard work. But I should correct myself. It's the Strip District. The Pennsylvania Macaroni Company is a company that we always go down to when we're in the Strip District, and it's like they are the largest imported Italian like restaurant slash distributor of Italian foods in Pittsburgh. So we spend so much time there. So during Christmas time, my dad, and because you asked of our plans, he always goes down there and he gets all these Italian ingredients and brings them. We cook 7 fishes, we have a huge like cheese platter, fresh mozzarella and all kinds of stuff. So prosciutto, and it's, that's the plan for Christmas this year, man. Have a huge feast with just a couple family members, not as many as we usually do because of the circumstances. But the plan is just eat a lot of food and watch some classic Christmas movies, man. Just something pretty simple. What about you?
Kind of the same. We have just a core family over here. Just my sister's birthday is actually on Christmas Eve, so she kind of steals the day there. But
Yeah,
she steals every day. She's the Italian princess. But
yeah.
so we have a big Christmas Eve. We'll do a really big dinner, celebrate her birthday, and then Christmas we'll same thing. Just big morning of presents, lunch antipasto, and then just a big dinner.
Nice. Do you guys cook 7 fishes? Do you have any traditions you
We
cook?
My sister hates seafood, so she steals dinner there.
Oh man,
But I'm sure I think she plans out dinner, so I'm sure we'll have a pretty big dinner nonetheless.
nice, awesome, man. Do you have grandparents cook with your parents at all, or is it?
No, most of my grandparents have passed too, and
Oh,
then
I'm sorry. Okay.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
fine. Yeah, but with
we're in the
everything
same
going,
boat.
yeah,
Yeah.
but with everything going on, it's just like my like what do you say? My core family. That's what we call them.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's cool, man.
Yeah, dude. So congratulations on the book again.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so excited to read it. Once I read it, I'm gonna tell everybody to go read it and take
Nice.
pictures and post it all over the place. But congratulations on that. Thank you for coming on.
Oh,
I had a
thanks
blast.
for having me, Nico. I appreciate it, bud.
Yeah.
Appreciate it so much.
Any last thoughts for the listeners out there?
I just, like I said, all the end goal here is to get it to as many kids as we can. And I hope you guys are proud of the character, even if you're not Italian, if you have a spouse that's Italian or a friend that's Italian. I think that they'll really enjoy the book and feel proud of the character that we've created. So that's it, man. I appreciate it.
So excited. Well, everybody go buy StELFano. It's in the link in the description. Can't wait to read it. And I'm wishing you and your family Buon Natale.
You too, bud. Thank you so much. Thank
All
you.
right. See you guys in the next episode. Ciao.
Ciao.